articles. That's just one. Is it just one?
Suspected shooter has been identified.
Here we go. All right, good morning, guys. Prayers, good vibes, whatever you believe in, coming your way. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. All right. Ooh, we're getting started here, guys. We've got 17 people in here, 20 people in here now. We will slowly but surely surely allow other people to trickle in. We're going to try and have a good day, all right? For starters, if you're in here, I apologize for the last few days that the lives have been ending abruptly. I do apologize. I know we normally try to end on a little bit more formal note, but been having a few emergencies. Sometimes my wife gets up and she needs me to help her out. And so I gotta run super fast, you know what I mean? But for the most part, I hope you guys definitely understand, you know? I hope you guys understand. Happy Good Friday. Do you believe this is a wrap on Sunday? What, Sunday, April 20th? Oh, everybody was worried about April 20th. Okay. So I think there are a lot of feelings about that. There are a lot of people who say that is not going to happen. I kind of feel that way too. I've seen a lot of, especially creators on TikTok, I've seen a lot of people reading articles just about how tough something like that would be. If that were really going to come into effect, there would be signs of things set up a long time ago. And just the sheer size and amount of people that are in this country, it'd be very hard for something like that to work. It'd be very hard for something like that to be maintained for a long period of time. Excuse me. I think at the end of the day, a lot of this comes down to people, all right? Even people, if they're in the military, all right? I get you have orders, I get you have all that type of stuff, but you don't necessarily you're not gonna have this uniform, mindless group of people who are just basically oh, well, because the president said it, all of a sudden I'm down to start rallying, you know what I mean? There are a lot more factors that kind of go into play with that. Republicans in Congress would have to be on board with all of that. And you got to think of the repercussions, the implications that has on the party as a whole. Because Congress can very much step in and be like, hey, cut this shit, or they can step in and be like, let it keep going. Say Republicans were to step in and be like, sure, let this continue. Very detrimental to what your entire party is all about, what your entire party has talked about trying to prevent, Think about how many of the voters over the last administration talked about being afraid that martial law would happen. You know what I mean? They sure do spend a lot of time projecting a lot of things onto this country that when they ultimately get into power, they turn around and do, which is absolutely, you know what I mean? How could you not? Which is absolutely insane. They spend a lot of time being like, there's going to be a dictatorship. There's going to be martial law. There's going to be this. There's going to be that. And then they get the power and they're like, we're doing that. And it's like, yeah, Lisa Murkowski came out and said that she was afraid. There are a lot of colleagues who are afraid. There's a combination of emotions that's going on with Republicans that is allowing this to continue. A good number of them, sure, they're afraid. They're afraid of retaliation. They're afraid of, there's some kind of stuff on them, blackmail or whatever. There's also a good number of them who very much want to see all of this happen. They're down for the cruelty. They're down for the suffering. In their minds, it does not matter. Even if it does affect some of their own people, they know for a fact it's going to be affecting black and brown people. And they know for a fact that it's going to be hurting communities that they don't agree with, so they're all in on it. So there's that. There's people in there that have money. There's people in there that are just trying to maybe ride this out and hopefully he goes away. And they can sort of present themselves as somebody who didn't agree with everything. You're going to have a lot of politicians that do that. Just watch a lot of politicians, especially when this dude is gone. They're going to be like, I didn't agree with everything, even though their voting record says they voted yes for all the BS. They're going to be like, it wasn't ever. And politics is difficult, and that's not going to be how they retain their seats. Thank you so much for the hearts. I appreciate that. So it. You're going to see a lot of different. That's why I said when this guy is out of here, there's going to be a lot of splitting factions in the Republican Party. It's going to be very, very, very unorganized. You know what I mean? One of the things that holds this together right now, the very thin, fragile thing that holds it together, is the weird fear, worship, and business opportunities that are attached to keeping Donald Trump as the president. You know what I mean? Now people say, oh, JD Vance will be worse. You know what I mean? I definitely think that JD Vance has his own supervillain agenda going on. You know what I mean? The only thing that I think JD Vance would not be able to do is hold the party together the same way. You know what I mean? Inspire the same type of, really occultic worship that, you know what I mean? JD has no riz. Yeah, JD has no riz. Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even among Republicans, he's very much like, so, I mean, even if he is bought out by, he's bought out by Peter Thiel or, he's all this and that, and he's going to be a stooge for them. He's like the golden boy of the Heritage Foundation. I'm telling y'all, if you watch Handmaid's Tale, if you go back and through Handmaid's Tale, because the new season's out, me and my wife are all in it. If you watch Handmaid's Tale, JD Vance is Commander Waterford, all right? He is Commander Waterford, eyeliner and all, I'm telling you. Go watch Commander Waterford. You thought Commander Waterford was scary, menacing, you know what I mean? He had the stuff going on when it was just in his house. When you started seeing Commander Waterford be around the other commanders, the other political giants in Gilead, you realize this dude was actually a very small man. You know what I mean? He was a very small man. He was not very inspiring and stuff, And again, I've talked about this before. There was an episode, I believe, that he was going to become, he met the president of Gilead, and he was going to potentially be the vice president, you know what I mean? Get himself in line to take over. And the whole vibe was like, you can't run nothing. You can't run nothing. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So I don't think that JD Vance could really hold things together the same way. You know what I mean? You would see a lot of that going on. Have you seen the NPR report about the State's Department getting rid of human rights and protests? They can try. They can try. These things are not going to stop people from speaking up and getting out there. You know what I mean? 2073. Yeah, I'll have to watch that. 2073. I think that's on HBO Max, right? I don't think. But yeah, these people are. It's really nice. It's not going to stop the American people from being out there, being loud about the things that they have issues with. It's just not. You know, it's really. It's quite literally having the opposite effect. Quite literally having the opposite effect. May I come up really fast? Are you coming up really fast to speak, to talk to me? I've never really had anybody come up and speak, but I've been entertaining that. You know what I'm saying? And so, I might do it. I might do it just to shake things up. Why not? Sure. If you would like to come up, that's fine. I'm totally down to do that. And then we'll get back into all of the usual stuff. You know what I mean? All right. Here we go. Yeah, I think panels will be something I do down the road. I have not decided on that yet, but I definitely think so. Okay, I think. Is that how oh, here we go.
Hi,
Hello. Can everybody hear? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Hello. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I just wanted to make a comment because I literally just saw and watched a video of the Alaskan, I think it was senator,
Yes.
saying that she was afraid.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had a thought. When they were doing the confirmations back, when they had to confirm him as president with Kamala, I wonder if they sat there and lied and said that there was nothing wrong with the election because they were afraid.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of there could be some truth to that. You know, a lot of fear and intimidation is a huge tool that's used in politics. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And who's to say they haven't been doing stuff like this? I mean, this whole time, you know? Because everybody looked very complicit in that room that day. I watched the whole confirmation. I'm not sure if you did, but
I did too, and I was like, I know I'm in Pennsylvania,
hmm
and I don't necessarily understand fully how electoral votes work. However, I know that there's no way in hell Kamala got Philly, Pittsburgh, Harrisburg, and still some of the suburbs around Philly and lost.
yeah. Well, the problem with electoral votes is that they were created in order to make people that live in smaller areas, less populated areas, have a bigger voice. You know what I'm saying? And so it almost makes rural areas votes count more. That's why electoral votes throw off elections very often. You know what I mean?
And
Um,
that's a problem
yeah.
because I looked at it and I said there's no way. There is absolute like we lost, I think the only county we lost was like Bucks County.
hmm Yeah. But
And but
those
we got
electoral
all of
votes
the major
count.
cities.
Yeah.
We usually never get like Harrisburg usually whips red and we got Harrisburg.
Yeah, it's a very the electoral system is very much was implemented in there in order to kind of level the playing field out of a fear of the popular vote. Popular voting, you know, is something that elites never really wanted. This goes back all the way to like the beginning of the country. You know what I mean? There's
Right.
always been a way to interfere with that. It's unfortunate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you. That's literally all I wanted to say. I just was like,
Sure.
wait a minute. This makes so much sense because I really watched them and I'm like, I know something went wrong. That it
Yeah.
didn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. I mean, yeah, a lot of it is the electoral system. I mean, you know, people are worried about the machines. Did Elon do something? Maybe he did, but if you look at the electoral vote system, it always makes elections more complicated. You know what I mean? It's how you have
Hmm.
presidents win without the popular vote, and it's unfortunate.
Like I said, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for
Sure.
having me.
Yeah, sure, of course. I hold on. Let me see if I know. Oh, I think I got it. Here we go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. The electoral vote system, it makes people very. It always throws elections off. It makes people very uncomfortable. You know, these are votes that when you go to vote, you come in like a certain amount are pooled, and then essentially your electoral vote, or the person who is your delegate, it's not even like your congressperson. It's like a specially chosen person who represents this batch of votes, you know, and then they take this batch of votes, and then that's, you know, they say this batch of votes went this way and blah, blah, blah. So it really makes the system very, very murky, you know. It's why you have all those like red states that just like automatically get called. It is unfortunate how the game really sort of gets set up in order to keep certain people in power, you know. I was talking about this yesterday. These people have to cheat. Yes, follow Election Truth Alliance, please. These people have to cheat. These people have to cheat because they know that their whole like sentiment, they know that their whole the ideals for what they want in the country are not very they are very outdated. That's what I mean to say. So it's like they gotta gerrymander, they gotta cheat, they gotta do all of the weird stuff. You know what I'm saying? In order to hold these positions, and then they turn around and they're like, no, other people are going to do it. You know, that's what there was. Remember, they were talking about that during the Wisconsin election with Susan Crawford, and how they were worried about her being elected because she was going to gerrymander seats and take away Republican seats. You know what I mean? Well, how you think they got them seats to begin with? They gerrymandered and got their extra seats. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like it is a long time to start using these white supremacist tactics against them. Okay. I think it is a long time. Let's start redrawing the maps. Let's do it. Let's do it. Y'all been doing it for a long time. It is time to redraw the maps. Let's go ahead and carve out these pieces right here. Make sure we keep them red numbers down. I'm all down to do it. That's what they've been doing. They've been doing it forever. They've been doing it forever. It's time. I think it's time for a little reshaping of the map, you know? Y'all renaming the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America? Well, I feel like some changes should come to the map if we get some other people in office. Yeah. So that's why electoral votes are definitely meant to, the spirit of them was meant to level the playing field, but the way that they are used and manipulated, it makes for rural votes, people in lesser populated areas, their votes count more. And so that's why elections are always tricky. Always tricky. Yes, the FSU shooter's homegrown. Yeah, we were going to talk about that. Yes, we were going to talk about that. I wanted to kind of get into that a little bit. You know, I wasn't sure how exactly to. I wasn't exactly sure how to get into that. Let's see here. So that was so that situation was how many light bulbs are in that light? I do not know, actually. That's a good question. That's a good question. Yeah, I'm not sure. I might have to ask the property manager or something like that. Yeah, but it's a pretty cool chandelier. You know, they've been doing some work in this room, so I haven't been able to use it over the last few days. That's why I was back in the office. But I like recording in here because of all the stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, the FSU guy, he's homegrown. You know what I mean? He's as homegrown as they come. All right? He is as homegrown as they come. I feel like we may have found, if we want to start doing this whole, I feel like the administration, if they want to start doing this whole shipping people out the country, no due process, I feel like somebody stepped up to, I feel like there's somebody who stepped up. You know what I mean? in my opinion, we have somebody who stepped up, not DEI, very merit-based. You know, I think he earned this opportunity to volunteer and go to El Salvador, in my opinion. I think so. If we want to start talking about homegrowns, you know what I mean? We want to start talking about homegrowns. I feel like there's somebody we need to be sending over there, you know? Just like there are many, many people, hundreds of people most likely, that we need to be bringing back. You know what I mean? Thank God we got to see pictures of Shapiro. Yeah, the guy with Shapiro's house. We've had some serious volunteers. And this is, what did I say? I think I said it 2 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. When we were talking about the violence and we were talking about the chaos that was going to happen, right? The danger. Where did I say it was going to come from? I'm pretty sure I've talked about this. Where did I say it was going to come from? All right. Which side of the aisle are the real? See, now y'all was upset about the Teslas. I know they was upset about the Teslas. The Teslas was catching on fire. The buildings, you know what I mean? People was throwing Molotov cock at the Teslas and stuff. And the cars were getting all messed up. Well, we got a man who allegedly, according to a student, got out of his orange Hummer, okay? Got out of his orange Hummer, all right? And then stood outside of a student union and went to work, all right? With multiple pieces of weaponry that actually hurt people. You know what I mean? We have 2 people who are no longer with us, 6 people injured. All right, that's what the numbers are at this point after everything has been calmed down. Somebody in custody, all right? They said that there was allegedly a second person, but then they disproved that later on. So it was one guy, all right, who was the son of a sheriff's deputy who got kicked out of a group. The group said our only rule they said our only rule is no I shouldn't laugh. I should not laugh. This is very, very serious stuff. But the group said their only rule was no Yahtzees. That's what they said. Look, I got the clip right here. I got the clip right here. This dude said we had one rule and he broke it. You know what I mean? Here we go.
By police as an FSU student by the name of Phoenix Eichner. I know it's a big school. Did you happen to know him?
I spent my first 2 years at Tallahassee, now called Tallahassee State College, but we called it TCC. And I was the president of a political talk group we called the Political Roundtable, and he joined the club when I was at TCC. Basically our only rule was no Nazis, colloquially speaking. And he espoused so much white supremacist rhetoric and far right rhetoric as well, to the point where we had to exercise that rule. I also know he was a member of the TCC Turning Point chapter. And since TCC, I have seen him in passing a couple times. Today, I was talking to a friend who had talked to him yesterday, or 2 days ago, pardon me, and he was talking about how he wasn't ready for exams.
So what went through your mind?
Oh, I bet he wasn't ready for exams. I bet he wasn't ready for exams. He had other things going on. Yeah, you know, I'm telling you that you got to be careful. This is why you have to be so careful with what you inspire in people. All right. Sure, you can get a lot of results. You can get very far inspiring this darkness in people. You can get very far. You can climb to a lot of heights, inspiring this anger, this, outright just desire to break everything down because you feel like you're not getting enough. Sure, you can get very far doing that, but I'm telling you, it creates problems. It creates problems. That's why they over there talking about now, they're like, oh, they got to make the left look so violent. You know what I'm saying? That's why they want black people out there in the streets screaming and yelling. You know what I mean? Because that counteracts what they are actually doing. You know? That's what I'm telling you. That's why they baiting black people. That's why. For reasons like that. When we don't step out there, you know what I mean? They the ones out there showing that, and then they're like, oh, they're so violent. Really, you guys are walking through schools and hurting people, you know? So what are we? What is the real discussion here? What is the real discussion here? It's dangerous. I'm telling you, this is only going to keep getting worse for the people who have stoked this fire. You know, the people who have like thrown gasoline on this at every opportunity they got, because you know they have to stand up against the DEI stuff. They have to stand up against the boys and girls bathroom stuff. They have to stand up against all of the men and women's sports stuff. They just have to do it, you know? They have to do it. They have to tell you that those people who are getting snatched up off the streets are criminals. They have to do it. There's no other explanation for them, you know? There's no other explanation. They have to keep your eye off the ball. And that is falling apart. I mean, that's falling apart. When you have the counterterrorism guy being like, if I hear anybody advocating for due process, there's panic at the disco, my friends. Okay, there's panic at the disco, without a doubt. There's panic at the disco. What do you think will come of this senator visited El Salvador? Well, it's gonna stoke the conversation more. Those pictures, man. I mean, after watching them pictures, yo, he's not a. How am I supposed to believe he is this hardened criminal? You know, y'all been telling it that's got to make them look worse. That makes the administration look worse. It makes the regime look worse. He's not a hard. The dude is standing out there in a flannel. He's wearing some Jordans. All right, y'all met him at a Starbucks. What are you talking about? You met him at an El Salvadorian Starbucks, and you talk about this dude is supposed to be a hardened criminal? Oh, that makes the administration look worse. Y'all told me he was this hardened criminal. You know what I mean? Y'all told me that he was like what? I don't understand. Like, that picture alone should be enough to be like, yo, bring him home, right? Like, seriously. It don't look right. It don't look right. After you see that picture, you're like, why don't they just bring this dude home then? Like, what are they keeping him in there for? And then I've seen the videos where they've juxtaposed how other prisoners are being treated in this prison. And I'm just like, what is happening? I mean, what's he doing over there then? Bring him home. What is happening? What are you doing? He up there, he looked like he was playing PlayStation. Are we sure? He looked like he was playing. Them clothes look clean. I'm like, what? What is happening? Why is he over there? Why is he over there? Is he trying to get away from his family? Listen. No, why is he over there? Why is he over there? What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Y'all over here, like, what is this? What is this? What is that? What is this? What are we doing? What? He just chilling. Look, they got the man, they gave the man a latte. Look, they done gave the man a latte. What are we doing? What? Get him home. What is happening? What are we doing? What is this? What is this? Meanwhile, his wife out here, you know what I mean? You got his wife out here. She just look distraught, all right? Quite literally over there, you know what I'm saying? Like what? Yeah, they gave him a glass. Like that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you're holding, they gave him a glass. Yeah. So what's happening? What are we doing here? I need like, can we get him back? Can we get him back here? Seriously, what is this? What is this? She read her statement. She's like, he's alive. You know what I mean? And that's why, like, that's why I did my best to, I didn't know what was going on with him or not. You know what I'm saying? Just like everybody else, I did my best not to just like make videos being like, he gone, I felt like I needed to be a little bit more careful before I started making videos straight up being like, he gone. I personally feel like it's a lot of people on this app right now who are acting like they didn't make like 4 or 5, 6 videos being like, this dude's dead. And I'm like, I think that maybe y'all should have slowed down on that one. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a lot of people that was like really on this app being very loud about that. You know what I mean? And so I just feel like what are we doing here? I don't know what to. I really don't know what to. I really don't know what to feel about this whole situation. You know, and then you got Homeland Security. And then you got Homeland Security, right? So Kristi Noem led Homeland Security. They put out a statement. The real story. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is an MS-13 gang member with a history of violence. Fast facts. Here we go. Facts. These are what your government websites look like now. This is crazy. You can tell who they're trying to talk to, right? You can tell. Look at this. Look. You can tell who they make these government websites for. All right? The mainstream media has peddled a sob story about Kilmar Garcia. The facts are he is an illegal. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. Look, this is absolutely disgusting. Fast facts. When Garcia was arrested, he was found with rolls of cash and oh my God. He was arrested with 2 other members. So what, okay. How does that? When he was arrested, he was wearing a sweatshirt with rolls of money covering the ears, mouth, and eyes of presidents on various currency denominations. Oh God. No, this is a known MS-13. How do you know that? How do we know that? How do we know that this is a known MS-13? Can you Google it? Can you Google it? Known, let's see. Known MS. Is this something we know? Is this something that is known? Let's see. Known symbols and logos. Let's see here. Here we go. Look. Known symbols and logos. Okay. Known symbols. What do we see here? Number 13, sometimes depicted as X133 in a unique font. All right, let's go back to let's see. What did they say he had on him? Sweatshirt, money. Okay, let's see if they have anything they say about money here. Let's see. Machete or weapon symbolizing the gang's reputation. Skull or other skeletal imagery. All right. Colors blue and white. Interesting. Blue. Didn't they say he had a Bulls hat on? Didn't they say he was wearing a Bulls hat? Are the Bulls hat blue? Didn't they say he had a bull? Hold on a second. Hold on. Hard stop. Okay. Oh yeah, all the Swifties. Hey, what can we do? Some the Swifties. I thank you. Is that? In various fonts. So wait, this is what's getting me though. Blue and white. The colors blue and that's them, right? Okay. But they said this dude had a Bulls hat on. They said he had a Bulls hat. The Bulls. Y'all think I'm stupid. Y'all really think okay. This is not, come on. Ain't no way you can read this. Ain't no way you can read this and be like, this is accurate. This is some accurate work by my government, right? Absolutely insane. Look at some other things. Intelligence reports found that he was involved in human T intelligence reports. Oh, okay. Number 6. Number 6 just says he is an illegal alien from El Salvador. How many times? You can't just say illegal alien from El Salvador over and over again and expect people to believe. Like, that's not how this works. It's not, you can't just keep, what else can we say? Y'all can't just keep doing this every single time and expect this to work. He claimed fear of being returned to El Salvador because he would be persecuted by MS-13's rival gang, Barrio 18. Jennifer Vasquez, Garcia's wife, petitioned for an order of protection against him. She claimed he punched her, scratched her, and ripped off her shirt and bruised her. Didn't she drop this protection order? Bottom line, Kilmar Garcia is a violent criminal. This is what your government websites look like now. Look at this. This is your government Homeland Security, okay? They give you bullet points. They give you little pictures. That you can see who they talking to, right? Look, they just pick one. Look, they give you bullet points, little pictures. That's it. And then, come on now. Who you talking to? Come on, who you talking to right now? This ain't, no. Was this page helpful? No, actually, no. No, at the end, was this page helpful? No, all right. Actually, government, I just want you to know it is not helpful at all. Has too little information. Thank you. Submit. Thank you, Homeland Security. Just want you to know, you got my assessment. Okay, was this page helpful? It was not. All right, it told me nothing. You told me nothing. And who was it? I think it was Hawk. I think I saw on his page, if I'm not mistaken. He was talking about how they haven't said any of these things in official government documents, you know? Yeah, Kristi Noem posing. What about all them pictures? Kristi Noem, she done presented evidence. You know that, right? What she did is evidence to get them in trouble. All right? Because while a judge was saying you need to be bringing these people home, while a judge was saying these people don't belong on them planes going to El Salvador, she was recording herself in front of the people, being like, we put these people on these planes. So Kristi Noem is out here going, yeah, we put these people on these planes. Look, you see the people? You want to see the people? You want to see the people here that we put on the planes, that the judge said don't put on the planes, but we put them on the planes. They're right here. Yeah, no, that's evidence. That's evidence. I can't wait for that to come up in a court filing. That will. They about to do discovery, right? We about to be in discovery. Oh, that's coming up in a court filing. Guaranteed. Around the time the judge said bring these people back, the Homeland Security Director was posing like America's Next Top Model. She was this lady out here auditioning, doing. All right, this is the jail shoot. Okay, I need more eyes. I need you to be more fierce in the eyes. Okay, it's not enough. This is the jail. I need you to capture the pain. All right, I need to capture that. Come on, Mr. and Mrs. J. That's Kristi Noem. Mr. and Mrs. J. That's how we got here. That's what happened. They got sick of seeing shows like America's Next Top Model. That's what it was. That's what it was. They were sick of it. They were sick of it. All these people in this cabinet, I'm sure they was rejected off of these reality shows. You know that, right? Oh, there you go. I guarantee it's a couple of reality show rejects on there. It's Sean Duff. They was trying. She tried to get on Top Model. Couldn't happen. Well, I'm going to destroy the country now. That's what I'm going to do. That's the Kristi Noem vibe. That is Kristi Noem's whole vibe. I did not get on any of these reality shows. That didn't work out for me. So I am destroying the country. That's what I'm doing. I think that's the only logical next step. I think in my career, that makes sense to me. Makes absolute sense to me. All right, come and get some more makeup if you don't mind. Right here, while I have these, while I commit this war crime. We got to get it on film. Nothing makes for a good Instagram post like a war crime. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing really gets the engagement up like an international war crime. You know what I'm saying? That really gets eyes on your page. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want to do. Trying to get these brand deals, baby. That's all. That's what the end game is. It's all about the brand deals. It's all about the TikTok brand deals for these people. That's it. She's trying to get that engagement up. Nothing's gonna get that engagement up like war criminals. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Now, you said Trump distanced himself from the DOJ. Thank you for the hat. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And you said Trump tried to distance himself from the DOJ. Let's see here. Oh, you know it. You know he gonna do that. You know he gonna disappear. You know he gonna step away from the DOJ. You know he gonna act like he don't know stuff. That's you know that he doesn't know anything about Kilmar Garcia, right? That's his move. Y'all know it's his move. Y'all know that's Trump's move when he's in trouble. That's what, you know what I mean? That's his move when trouble is a brewing. When real trouble is a brewing, all of a sudden he don't know what's happening. Pam Bondi, you better be worried. You better be nervous. I'm telling you, this is how the ride goes. This is how the ride goes. If you have been close to that man, and then all of a sudden he starts going, I don't know what they're doing. Oh, you better get ready. This is your stop on the train, my friend. This is your stop, actually. By the way, I just want you to know, for all the people who've been watching him do this for 60 years, those lines right there, I don't know, it means this is your stop on the train. Your ride has come to an end. Your ride is coming to an end, actually. You thought you was going to the top. Oh, no. Nope, this is where you get off. Oh. This is where you get off. That's it. Pam and Rudy, yep. You know they about to make a podcast now. That's what's coming next. That's what's coming next. You know what's coming next. He about to say, they about to make a podcast now. Get ready for Pam and Rudy. You know, the thing about the Trump regime is that when you're in there, and you don't really know how to feel about it. You know that podcast is coming. It's going to be Pam and Rudy. You know, when you're defending Trump, this is what you got to do, because he's a man that really makes a lot of decisions. And yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Y'all, it's it. That's it. He said, I don't know about what's going on. Come on, we done seen that. They write a book. Yep, that's what you come on. We done seen this play. They gonna get hired by the Midas Touch. Pam about to get hired by the Midas Touch Network. That's what's about to happen. They get hired by the Midas Touch, and they go to work. All right, that's it. They go to work tearing him down. That's what's about to happen. It's over. It's over. Oh, he said he don't know what's going on. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Yeah, they go on CNN, you know. And they're like, all my years working with the president. It's all stupid. Act like they weren't fully in the game. You know what I mean? I was never quite. I never got. Okay. Okay, I don't want to listen to you no more. I can't deal with you no more. I can't deal with not one more of these I used to work for Trump grifters. I cannot do it. I can't do it with these people. Yeah, I used to work for him and stuff like that. Now I see lead partners every day. I don't want to look at them. All right, you ain't telling me nothing. I see lead partners every day now. I see your son enough. All right, your son. I see your son enough. Okay. I see your son. I see your son enough. All right, that's enough. I'm not trying to look at you. I see you now. All of a sudden, you see your son is doing something now. He's like, well, I got to get this bag too. He's like, I got to get this bag. We got enough. We got enough. Look what they talking about on CNN. Trump slams Kilmar Brego Garcia during news conference. Let's see here. Here we go. This is CNN right now. They're talking about this.
Real quickly, on the judges and MS-13 ties, what he's referring to there is two rulings by immigration judges when he was taken into custody by ICE and he had been asking for bond. Now, in that scenario, immigration judges often default to what ICE tells them. In this case, that law enforcement had a brush with Abreu Garcia at a Home Depot parking lot and that they had made the allegation that he was tied with MS-13. The immigration judges in both of those rulings did not conclusively find that he was part of MS-13. It did not matter for them to deny him bond. He also mentioned the domestic violence petition by his wife in 2021. I have received a statement from his wife who says that that was a difficult time in their marriage, that no marriage is perfect, and that they went to counseling after the fact. That is, by the way, a complaint that is typically not provided to the public unless shared by the victim. This was something that was blasted out by the administration. And I will also note that the federal judge more recently here in Maryland had asked the Justice Department to provide any evidence whatsoever to substantiate that he is part of MS-13. In her order, she says in a footnote, no evidence was provided to that effect, despite her repeated asks to put this in court record, not in the public forum. But as we noted, because we're part of Inside Politics here, he was talking about how he won on immigration, and so it explains a lot as to how why he's taking on
Except, I mean, obviously he won. Immigration was part of it, but if you look at any exit poll, it was the economy, which he's definitely having trouble with. Real quick, Alex, he did talk about Rubio's comments with regard to potentially ending negotiations or giving up on negotiations between Ukraine and Russia.
We know that the president wants to end this war. He has made that abundantly clear, and he wants to do it very quickly. And what they have certainly learned in the past 87 days, as Rubio said today, is that it's extremely complicated. We don't know how they intend to end this war. They've talked about compromises. They've talked about territorial concessions. We do have a sense of what they think Ukraine should give up, and that's a lot of their territory. That's a desire to join NATO. They have ruled out U.S. troops going into Ukraine. But what would Russia give up? We have not heard of anything.
And you just heard, forgive me, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just, if people couldn't hear, he was asked, is Russia playing you? Which is the toughest question I've heard him asked in a little while, probably since Caitlin was in.
There certainly is a sense that Putin is playing for time, that he believes he has the upper hand, that he has the momentum, and that he can wait out the West. And what Europe and Ukrainians would like Trump to do is to convince him otherwise, and that would mean applying more pressure. And we have not yet seen a willingness by the Trump administration to do that.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much. Thanks for sticking around.
Oh, there we go.
With that
There we go.
breaking news.
I missed the actual press conference itself, but I will go ahead and try and pull some of that up. But yeah, I mean, as you can see here, he is talking about, he was talking about some serious stuff here. Let's see if I can find some clips from that press conference that he was given today. Let's see here. We're going to go through there. But yeah, I'm telling you right now, Pamela, you know what I mean? Because he running this presidency like Dunder Mifflin, all right? You know what I'm saying? He running this country like Dunder Mifflin. Oh man, brother, your team's notifications are wilding right now. I'm not sure exactly what you're saying there. Here we go. Great live. Thank you. I appreciate it. We're just having a good time, you know? You got to unpack the craziness and then, you know, you got to laugh a little bit. You know what I mean? That's all. Because this shit will drive you nuts. Shit will drive you nuts. You know? So let's see. That press conference just ended, so we don't necessarily have clips yet, but more clips will come out. We'll get into there. We'll get into there in a little bit. We can hear the notifications. Okay, so that's what happens when y'all send me stuff. I got you. I think I have it set where I don't hear it. I think I have it set where I don't hear it. And so, my bad. Yeah, people be hitting me up. I'm sorry. People be hitting me up. Somebody called me a major influencer the other day. I was like, okay. I'm very much still getting used to having like a whole bunch of people following me and stuff like that. I'm almost at 100,000 now, which is pretty cool. I honestly did not see that. I didn't see that ever really happening for my page. So that's pretty exciting. And now it's a time for me to not only build more on this page, but I'm starting to build my my strictly dad content. You know, we talked about it a lot. Talked about it with my wife a lot. Now I'm going to start pouring more energy into my dad content. So whatever I'm doing with like me and my son, stuff that I'm cooking, activities that we go play mini golf all the time, where I'm gonna, my wife is pregnant, so we're getting ready for a second baby. I'll be making I'll probably be doing talk videos, but I'll just be talking about stuff going on around the house. You know what I mean? I want to do that page because I feel like it'll be a little bit more fun for me to put that type of content out there. Because as much as I do love Danny Lime, and I'm going to continue to grow it. After a while, it's like, I got to have something that offsets it, in my opinion. Like, I got to have something. I got to be doing another type of content, because if I'm only doing let's hold our emotions together, it gets very it gets mentally draining on me too. So that's why I think that doing dad content will be a nice way to balance that out. Because not everything is so serious. I promise you, not everything is so serious in our life. My son got a stormtrooper costume because yesterday, my wife just wanted him to be dressed like a stormtrooper. She really just saw the costume, thought he looked cute in it, and bought it. And we ain't nowhere near Halloween. But we got him this stormtrooper costume, and then he wanted to wear his costume. And then we wear it, and then he walked around the neighborhood last night just dressed like a stormtrooper, just because that's what he wanted to do. You know what I mean? So yeah, stuff like that I wanna try and get filmed and everything. I think that'll be fun content to make. Anyway, nice little PSA in the middle of the live here. Yeah, I saw some people asking if we have gotten to Tesla time. Not quite yet. We will do it in a few minutes. We didn't get a chance to do Tesla time yesterday or talk about any of the fun news going on with the muskrat yesterday. And I think that honestly, since we weren't able to do that, we might even be able to. Let me see if I can find some of that stuff. Oh, look at Mentos commercial. That's hilarious. Let me see if I can find some of that muskrat stuff that I had yesterday. Because before I got into Tesla time, I wanted to get into this legion of children that this is trying to. What? I don't understand why people get close to this guy. I don't understand why people get close to this man. You know what I mean? He's trying to build. He said he's trying to build a legion of children. I was like, what? What is happening? Oh, she putting all the tea out. Ashley St. Clair, she putting all the tea out. She like, you gonna take away my child support? I'm dropping all the tea on you. It's absolutely insane. And then he had the other influencer. Have y'all seen this? He was he using X to try and slide in the DMs. He using X to slide in his DMs. He was trying to slide into the DMs of this influencer. And basically, He was trying to get this influencer to be his next baby mama. I mean, apparently that's what you do when you're the richest man in the world. You just DM women and go, I'll be my baby. Come on. All these stereotypes y'all be putting on black people. Look at these men in the Oval Office. I'm just saying. All these stereotypes y'all be putting on black people. Look at these people running the country right now. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? This man is sliding in the DMs going, be my eighth, it will be eighth, be my eighth baby mama, please. And if you don't do it, I'm taking away your blue check. If you don't do it, he takes away the blue check. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, the article said he could have more than the 14. More than the 14. Don't talk to me about Nick Cannon no more. Don't talk to me about Nick Cannon, because according to her, he got more out there. Don't talk to me about Nick Cannon. I don't want to hear nothing else about Nick Cannon. All right. I don't want to hear nothing else about Nick Cannon. Elon Musk is out here producing what? You got this idea that he's trying to make this perfect kid. You know what I mean? Do you see how these people think? All they got to do is, you know what I mean? All they got to do is like put some money in the, like, you know, you talking about ending world hunger. You talking about like helping people. We struggling to pay bills. Everybody talking about how everybody, and they just, all they care about is making kids. You know what I'm saying? And just like not even using their money to take care of their own kids. That's insane. That's insane. Not even using their money to take care of their own kids. That's insane. I can't even with that. Can't even deal with that. I've never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it. We got to talk about how Juan Carlos Lopez Gomez was picked up yesterday and made it home. That was really good. This homegrown thing is not a joke. All right, everybody, please be careful when you're out in these streets and everything like that. I know that tomorrow is going to be a big day for Hands Off. I know tomorrow we're going to have people back out there protesting in all 50 states at all of your capitals and everything like that. You know. So just be safe. You see what's going on. They're not playing around about this homegrown stuff. They're not playing around about trying to provoke people into making bad decisions so that they can get away with the atrocities that they're trying to get away with. So do whatever you can to, protect yourself. You know what I mean? What region of the country do you live in? I'm in Southern California. You know, I need to find Atlanta's. Yeah, Atlanta do that. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure the consensus on black people is we are still taking a step back. As you can see, he over here attacking he attacking the museum and everything like that. But I love the fact that the message is no, it rains here. It definitely rains here for sure. We're coming out. We're still in the midst of our rainy season right now. We're kind of coming out of it. But as you can see, I mean, I've been saying this from the beginning. They don't have a strategy for angry white people. They don't. They have zero strategy for angry white people, and that number is growing by the day, by the week. You know. Even little by little, you're seeing people who voted for him being like, you know what I'm saying? So we can let that grow, and we can let those voices be heard. I have been seeing a lot of some conversations that y'all are having with each other that it makes me happy. seeing more people explain where a lot of the systemic oppression comes from, watching you guys explain where the white fragility comes from. You know what I mean? I think that that has been very inspiring to watch. You know? I think that's very inspiring to watch. There was this video I saw the other day. Hold on, where is it?
Where you need it. Get coverage you can count on at a price you can count on too. Cox Mobile, the smart way to mobile.
This right here. I've been trying to figure out who this guy is. I'm surprised. I've been trying to figure out who this guy is. Right here, because this guy has been on a world tour. I don't even know if these videos are old or new, but he's been on a world tour.
You just told me two things. Number one, you think you own it. And number two, you want to go say, I want my country back. You just told me two things. Number one, you think you own it. And number two, you want to go back, because that's a directional reference. Back to what? Back to this fictional time, back to Leave It to Beaver, back to Andy of Mayberry down at the fishing hole with Opie, all of this nonsense that was never real. And then when Dylan Roof goes into that church in Charleston and says, you rape our women and you're taking over our country, that is a possession comment. That's a comment that says, this here is mine, right? Having to share the mental space, the actual physical space with folks that you didn't ever think you would have to share the designation of an American with. So I think part of the difference between how folks of color view it and how white folks view it is white folks have this fear of falling because for the first time we're having to realize that we're not a white country. James Baldwin told us that we never were, right? But we didn't read James Baldwin, we still don't, and so we don't really understand. We think that it's a white country. This was never a white country. But if you've been allowed to believe it is, and all of a sudden things start to change, it's like your whole world is falling apart. That's the sick thing about privilege.
You know, conversations like that are happening more and more, and it's leading to moments. It's leading to moments like what happened? Here we go. It's leading to moments like this right here.
I moved from the state of Texas.
This is in Texas.
Because it is now after you guys don't need to understand what's going on with my grandson. He just loves people, and he loves me, and he's going to school, and he wants to exist. But when you stand up and you put all these hateful laws out there, my grandson isn't going to go to your kids' schools and try to make him trans. It was just something that who he is. So can you stop that hate and work on this other issues? That's my question to you.
Well, like you said, I don't pay any money, and I think if I learned anything in the wars, is that everybody's different. Okay,
But they're not accepted.
sure. I can't control that.
But you can help
Can by not spreading hate.
You've never heard those words come out of my mouth.
You've never heard them. You've never heard them words come out my mouth. Again. See, when you get confronted with it straight on, it's like you didn't hear me say it right this second. But what have you been talking about? You know what I mean? What are you been talking about? These conversations happening are very, very refreshing. It's very refreshing to watch them happen in those communities. You know what I mean? Because they need to. They need to. It's the only way you're really gonna root out like that type of mindset. It's the only way you're really gonna like root it out, you know? And so that is what you got to that's what needs to continue happening. I'm very encouraged watching those conversations take place. You know what I mean? Yeah, the trans conversation is very much a red herring. It's very much a red herring used to distract people, upset them, take their eyes off of what really matters, which is kind of like your finances every single day. You know what I mean? You know? All right. It's different now because Mimas have mixed grandbabies. Oh yes, these you can't avoid a blended family anymore. That's a great comment. That is a great comment. You cannot avoid a blended family anymore. You absolutely cannot. And it's unfortunate. Look, you see, like I said, we talked about all of the systems that were put in place, all of the rules, all the segregation, the redlining, everything that was tried to, everything that was implemented in order to keep that type of stuff from happening. You got these hardcore Republican families, you know what I mean? And they blended now. What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? What? You've been racist. You know what I'm saying? And that's enough. You've been thinking. You know what I mean? You've been on this. You've been on that time. Imagine for 50, 60, 70 years. Boom. You got a blended. You in a blended family. You look up. You got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mixed grandchildren. You like what? This is what progress looks like. I'm telling you. This is what progress looks like. And for a good number of people, they're like, good, I want to see this. But there are other people who are like, their brains are frozen. You're going to have to do something. I'm going to need you to get that update. You're going to have to update. You're going to update your software, all right? Everybody, you can't stop us all from blending together, right? Melting pot, isn't that the whole thing? Melting pot? When you want to be idealistic, when you want to push the whole, when you want to push the best, of this country and all that stuff, that's when you're all like, yeah, no, melting pot, everything America stands for, But then you just like, oh wait, that means you have to make space for everybody. You have to. That's what Tim Wise. So I saw you guys' name. That's what he was saying. You have to make space. Hey, sorry, gotta make space. Gotta open it up. Gotta make some room. You know what I'm saying? We here. We ain't going nowhere. You gotta make some room. You gotta make some room for all of us. Exactly. So, all right. With 10 minutes left before we get into our wrapping up phase, I think that it is a good time to slide into Tesla time. All right. Because today has been a interesting day for the stock price. It doesn't look like it's taken a huge dip. As the market's open, it's kind of been stagnant, but that does not necessarily mean a good thing. It's almost the stock price is almost flatlined actually, which is a much worse sign for things to come with this company. The price is basically flat. The price has basically stayed around where it opened. It has not really gone up or down today. Well, that means there's no movement on. That means there's no movement on the on there. That's you really don't want to see that. You really don't want to see that. And with the doomsday clock still in place, I would be very, very nervous. All right. The doomsday clock is down to 4 days. We got 4 days. 4 days to see what is going on with that earnings announcement. Stagnation is really, really bad. And thank you. Look at this. Look, and if you want to talk about, look at that. The Doge whistleblower. Oh yeah, this is a sign you are in some trouble. Oh, you in some trouble. That's a bad sign. I ain't never seen that. I'll tell you right now, I ain't never seen that. I ain't never seen the stock market. I ain't never seen the stock market look like that. That's what you don't want. That is what you definitely don't want that. I'm telling you, man. That he been quiet, but don't think people ain't watching. He been quiet, but the people have been watching. See, I'm telling he got smacked up. He thought, okay, I got smacked up in Wisconsin. I'm going back up a little bit. Nobody's gonna be paying attention to me. Maybe if I'm not so loud, maybe if I'm not waving a chainsaw on Fox News every day, people won't be mad at me all the time. You're wrong, okay? You're wrong. Number one export of America is pettiness, okay? America's number one import, number one export is being petty, all right? And I'm telling you, and you really underestimated that. You did. You underestimated just how far this country will take you down. All right? They will when we want you down, you're going down. And you're going all the way down. And I'm telling you, you thought people was gonna get over. Oh, he was just joking about the empathy thing. Oh, it's no big deal. Oh no, they not playing with you. They not playing. This is what you wanted. Now we finding out you got the Doge whistleblower. That's gonna get worse. That's gonna get worse. These stories that are gonna start coming out, it's gonna get worse. It's like I said the other day. At one point I thought we were gonna be doing this dance for 4 years. I don't see it. And even the grass for power, even the consolidations of power are looking weaker and weaker. You know what I mean? They try to pass that bill for the courts to limit the courts and stuff like that. You could limit the court's power, or you could also force all of these courts to focus on maybe 1 or 2 cases. I don't think that's what you want. Sure, yeah, you could limit these courts' power, but you could ultimately put them in a situation where they put all of their energy into 1 or 2 cases, 1 or 2 real cases that could actually make this thing fall apart. You know what I mean? Like every chess move is really working. It's really working against them. It's working against him. It's working against the administration. It's working against the Republican Party. It is going to make people vote Democrat. If for nothing else, just to see what else is going on. Because the stuff that y'all doing, they begging you to have their back. They're begging you to get rid of the tariffs. You won't do it. They're begging you to help them with their farms. You won't do it. They're begging you to follow the Constitution. You won't do it. They're begging you to stand up to him. A lot of those people in these town halls are like, bro, they're not even saying they'll vote you out yet. They're just saying, can you stand up to him? Can we see you stand up to him? And it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. I just don't know what I'm going to do. Okay, well, that doesn't make me feel good. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene's out here tasering people, having people tased. You tasing people. You know what I'm saying? You tasing people at a town hall where she had the people vetted to come in. She ran one of them town halls where you vet people. Do you live here? What's your affiliation? Tase people. Call them protesters. You had those people vetted. You had the people vetted when they came in, and you had the questions vetted when they got put on that board. And they were still asking you, why are you a coward? Why are you not standing up to him? You know? You got 4 people sitting in the very front. How am I? You got 4 people sitting in the very front talking about, woo, yeah. Wait, so the 3 or 4 people that are sitting in the front screaming at you to say like they support you, they're not paid protesters, but the tens of thousands of people outside are paid. Come on. It don't add up. It don't add up. Don't add up one bit. You know what I mean? It does not. So, but that is that. This all's really I think a lot of this stuff is really just gonna be crumbling. You know what I mean? I just think it's just gonna be crumbling. I don't think they're organized enough to truly run a dictatorship. I don't think they have like the intestinal fortitude to do that. Honestly, these are not like, I don't think these are very they may be evil, they may be vindictive, they may be cruel, they may be but I don't think they are really hard-nosed dictators. You know what I'm saying? The closest might be the president, and even he's a blob of jelly. A lot of these people are a little too spineless to be running a dictatorship, and a dictatorship this size? Okay. Yeah. And they weren't prepared for how much people talk, even with them. I seen them videos of people like, yeah, I'll take a dictatorship before. People talk that talk. People say that, yeah, dictatorship sounds great. Because they think that shit sounds cool to say. Dictatorship sounds great as long as I got my guy. Dictatorship sounds great. Oh, no. Yeah, no. Then they start snatching you off the street. And now you in there like, you gonna get that guy from El Salvador? Now all of a sudden, you change that tune real quick. You change that tune real quick. 2 weeks ago, you like, I love the dictatorship. Now you're like, hey, can you... what does a diet dictatorship look like? Can I get like a half and half? You know what I'm saying? Can I get like a, what is that? What is that? Because I don't know if some of these people are really like, I don't know if this is actually what I thought it was. All right, exactly what I thought it was. You know, you didn't really like. The thing is, you didn't believe. You didn't believe it was happening. You didn't believe what was taking place because you didn't see the usual costumes, right? That's how these people think. That's why they use pictures to sell you on stuff. You didn't see the costumes. You didn't see the sash with the swastikas on. You didn't see the brown suits. You didn't see all, you know what I'm saying? You didn't see it. You didn't see the images that you've been shown from World War II and stuff for all these years that you've seen put in movies. You didn't see it happening in front of your face that way. They're not wearing the costumes that you think they should be wearing in order for you to be like, oh yeah, that's a dictatorship. But it is. But it is. Sorry, this ain't Halloween. This is actually it. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's diet. You like that one, right, Patriot? Diet dictatorship. You like that one? That's what they asking for now. Can we get something like that? Can we get? You gave me a full dictator. I wanted like a junior dictatorship with cheese. That's what I wanted. You gave me a full dictatorship. I just want a junior dictatorship with cheese. A Mighty Kids dictatorship, if that's okay. Can we do the Mighty Kids dictatorship? That's what I'm looking for. Some of them were like, I don't know if I was ready for the whole thing. And they said, no. Yeah, they said, no, you get the whole thing. You get the whole thing and the toy. You get it all. Yeah, you get all of it. The Whopper Junior dictatorship, man. That's what they asking for now, because they don't want it. Because look, I still like Burger King, right? You know what I'm saying? I still like Burger King, So it's like, if I can get that junior, maybe we can do the Whopper Junior dictatorship. That's what I think. That's what these people are looking for right now. That's exactly what they're looking for, the Whopper Junior dictatorship. They think that's going to be a safe, we do it all the way here, buddy. We do it all the way. Oh, man, so that's fun. That was a fun little, that was a fun little thing. Fun little time right there. Be on the lookout for them people looking out for them junior dictatorships, all right? They're out here. Yeah, McDonald's. That's why I said the Mighty Kids dictators. That's what I said. The Mighty Kids dictatorship. That'd be the McDonald's version. That sounds more like thing, The citizen, Juan Carlos Lopez Gomez, he was released last night. He was released last night to his mother. They held him for longer than he absolutely should have been held in there. That should have never happened. And you know what they're going to do if they ever decide to talk about that? Because I doubt the White House will acknowledge that. If they haven't already, I doubt they will. But if they do, if that story gets pushed out there, what they'll do is they're going to spin it to MAGA. You're going to have people at MAGA being like, he only spent a few hours. And that's what they're going to say. They'll be like, a few hours in the jail is fine as long as the paperwork is, that's what they're going to say now. You know what I mean? Then people are just, and so a few hours is no big deal. As long as the paperwork is right. That's stupid. But no, he was released to his mom. They got him out of there. Apparently the ACLU was involved, but yeah, he got him out of there. So that is good. That did not turn into what everybody was worried it would turn into. And it's important to pay attention like that. Think about all the stories of the people who fall through the cracks. You know what I mean? Imagine if enough people didn't catch wind of something like that happening, and then you just never found out. And he could have just, It is important that we all take care of each other. Building community in a time like this is how you combat what's going on with the government, the dictatorship. Anytime you have an authoritarian regime come into place, building community is the best way to combat that. Having each other's backs. Look at the colleges, right? Aren't those colleges, the Big Tens, trying to form their own little NATO now that they've seen Harvard stand up, now that they know they all want to, that's what you got to do. That's what we got to do. You know what I mean? Looking out for each other in our local areas, making sure that we are able to protect each other. I saw the video of people in Tennessee who formed a human chain to protect like their neighbors from ICE and that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's things like that. You know, we really have to be hyper focused on our communities, without a doubt, without a doubt. And I think that is ultimately what will build the resistance that will keep all of this from being an endless an endless regime. You know what I'm saying? And the Republicans are hearing it. I'll tell you this, if there is a Republican openly saying that they are afraid, if even one of them is actually willing to get on a camera, on a microphone, and say that they are all afraid, that's a big deal. You know what I mean? I know, you're afraid, get out the way, you don't need that. They need to hear that from the people. They need to hear the people say, step up. They need to hear that. But it's a big deal to have somebody even say that. Because nobody was saying, we heard it before from the Wall Street Journal, we heard it come from Eric Swalwell, who said he was a Democrat. He said he was talking to his colleagues and he heard that they were afraid and stuff like that. But, you know, everybody dismisses it, especially when it comes to right-wing people. They always dismiss it when they hear Democrat. When they see that D in front of their names, they just dismiss it. Like, whatever, you're making it up. You know, they have to live in that cognitive dissonance. You know what I'm saying? Hearing even one Republican senator start to say that, that means that there's a thing. Here we go, Gregory Jones. Coming in on the end. Sorry, buddy, I can't do this dance with you today, all right? If you're going to tap dance, you're going to have to entertain people on the way out because we are we are wrapping up, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get entertained by Greg and his tap dancing, that'll be that's what we gonna do. But yeah, when you hear somebody from the Republican Party say that, that means there are more, and that means that there are more who are probably feeling compelled to move in a different direction behind the scenes. You know, the people just need to continue to do what they are doing now. You know what I mean? Being loud, speaking up. Don't let them tell you, oh, if you speak up now, we're gonna. But that is a fear-based tactic. That shows that they are nervous about the collective. You know, it shows they are nervous about putting all of us putting our resources together and standing up. You know, yeah, Greg missed it. He missed it. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. It's cool, Greg. I know, but hey, you back? You came. I know you slid in to see what was going on. You know what I mean? Okay, Greg is not at it. I don't know. Greg is at it. They going at you. It's all good, Greg. You'll be back. You ain't gonna come back. He gonna come back. He was like, oh, dang, I missed it. I missed it. So anyway, everybody think about, keep that in mind, all right? Just keep that in mind. As much as they want to put that fear out there in order to divide people, it's bringing people together. As much as they want to put this information out there to scare people, it's emboldening. You know, as much as people, you know, as much as they put that information out there in order to keep us from asking questions and, you know, getting our, asking questions and getting the information that we want to get, it's having the opposite effect, in my opinion. I think more people are asking questions on both sides of the aisle, and that is something that we weren't doing for a while. We weren't. So that is something to look forward to, you know? Something to look forward to. So again, keep that in mind, all right? Stay fired up, stay ready to go. Listen to that Obama speech. Hey, if you hear the fired up, ready to go Obama speech come across your timeline, listen to it, all right? It'll help you out at a time like this. Be very, very careful when you go out tomorrow. You know, just make sure that, you know, you're out there, making sure your voice is heard, you know, just keep fighting the good fight. If you follow me already, I appreciate that. If you don't follow me, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the follow, you know, hit the little heart and everything like that. Follow my other page, Daddy Lime. Like I said, I'm going to start putting more dad content on there. So if you want to follow that page, you want to get a break from just all the political stuff, you want to watch me just talk about being a dad, I am going to be building up that page and everything. So check me out there. And then other social media, I'm on Substack. I am on YouTube, trying to grow that a little bit. I am on Blue Sky, Skylight, all that good stuff, you know. And you can follow me. A lot of the content is kind of shared across all those platforms, so you can see that. And then if you want to support me any other ways, I put the links to all of my pay whatever's in the bio of my TikTok. So you want to hit me on Cash App, Venmo, things like that, you're more than welcome to. And if other than that, I think that we have had a good day, you know, had a good day, made it through a full live. We did. Made it through a full. All right. Yeah, today is Friday. So generally, most likely I don't go live on the weekends, but I'll probably go live tomorrow while some of the protests are happening. So just be on the lookout for that. I may go live tomorrow while the protests are happening, and we can chop it up while everybody is out there fighting for democracy. So other than that, have a good night, guys. Please be safe. Enjoy your days. Keep a lookout for the videos. And there you go.